Hello guys, how are you doing? My name is Winfred and welcome to this channel where it's all about digesting the heart. Today we are talking about a topic that is a make or break of a relationship. Financial habits that predict marital peace or chaos. Those are the habits that we're going to talk about. You know, there are things that can really break or make a marriage or relationship last. So those things are the ones we are going to talk about. That financial bit is what we are dealing with. You know, people say money can't buy love, but money habits can surely destroy it. Yeah, it is true. Money can never buy love. Yes. But money habits can really destroy our relationships. Our relationship. Let's be honest, yeah? In this video, when you are dating, nobody wants to talk about money. And that's a common thing. No one is talking about money. We are all at our best. We talk about chemistry, about dreams, about our future home. But very few couples sit down and say, you know what? So how do we handle our money? Very few couples do that. Most of the time we're talking about how many kids we would want to have, where would we want to stay, you know, who should be in charge of what. Those are things we talk about, but we don't talk about money. It's like money is this thing that we keep away from everything else. And yet, if your relationship is driving and getting to its way of the I do's, yeah, money shouldn't be something that we skip. Why? Because if you're going to trust someone with your health, with your life, I mean, this person is going to make your meals, is going to sleep in bed with you, is, you know, going to be part of your future where you have kids. Why not talk about money? So that's something we are going to be handling today. I hope you're set and you have a book to write some of these things down, because trust me, they'll help. And grab a bite, grab a drink, maybe your favorite drink or coffee or tea, and let us just chat about the financial habits that predict marital chaos or peace. That's the topic of discussion today. I want us to find out, are you a spender or are you a saver? Because those are two types of people in a relationship. There are those who are good at spending and there are those who are good at saving. So in your relationship, who are you? Are you the spender or you are the saver? What's your relationship with debt? That is something we are also going to be handling. So tonight's episode is called Money Talks: How Financial Habits Predict Marital Peace or Chaos. I hope you find it interesting and also educative at the same time, because on this channel, this is where we digest or we dive deep into anything and everything in between. I mean, we're talking about finances, we're talking about investment, we are talking about relationships, we are talking about parenting, anything. So there's nothing off limit, and I hope this one as well is equally as beneficial. The reason why I thought of this topic is because whether you like it or not, the way you both handle money before marriage will show what kind of peace or pressure you will live with after you say I do. Whether you like it or not, it will have to play a part in there. Right now, when the butterflies are all over the place, you don't think it counts, but it will come to a place where it really counts. And I want us to prepare for that. For those who have not yet said their I do's, and for those who have said their I do's, to find a healing place where we can fix up on our marriage or relationships. Why money and marriage always collide? Why do they collide? Let's start from here. Money itself isn't the problem. The mindset around money is the problem. Money's never been a problem. Money is always good. You know, it brings all these comforts. It just does something to your life when you have it. So it's not the problem. Most conflicts in marriage aren't about not having money. They're about how you handle what you have. I mean, I've got 50,000. How do we handle that? So conflicts in relationships, like I said, are not about how much money you have or what you don't have. It's about how you handle that which you have. I mean, you find that your income is this much. How do you spend it? Are you a saver or are you a spender? Those two things at the end of the day will count in a relationship. So let me paint a picture for you. You have a couple, John and Mary. Yes, I hope those names are not so complicated. John grew up in a home where money was tight. Yeah. His parents fought about every expense. So he learned to save, and save. Yeah. That is all he learned because all the time money was tight. Now, sometimes it got to a point of fear where they were like, we are saving too much. You know, there's nothing that we run the house with. So that's how he grew up. And they were always worried tomorrow there may not be enough money. But Mary, on the other hand, grew up in a house where spending meant love. Her parents expressed affection through gifts and outings. Yeah. Now John and Mary fall in love. They get married, and suddenly she's saying, "Why don't you ever, spoil me?" She's starting to realize that he's not a spoiler. He's always saving. And John is saying, "Why are you wasting money?" Now, boom, that's the tension of the relationship. Not because they don't love each other, get me right, they love each other, but because their financial languages are completely different. If you know your language is to save and your language is to spend, it's not like you don't love each other, but you're speaking different languages. Yeah. And that alone can change upon so many things in a relationship. So before you marry someone, I would say this: get to understand what shaped their view, what shaped their view of money. Yeah, you need to understand that when we are dating, when we are getting to that place where I think I need to take things to the next level, I think I'm in love with this person, I think I should, start a family with this person, you should get down to some of these serious things and ask yourself what your partner, what shaped their view of money. Because every adult is a child with a financial story. Trust me, every adult is a child with a financial story. And I'll say it again. Why? Because where I grew up, what I saw growing up is what I'll bring to the table when I get into a relationship. And what I never saw, I can never bring unless someone else brings it to the table or introduces me to it. I don't have a clue as to what is out there. Like, I would give an example. Growing up, we were used to a lot, plenty. Say like if it is rice, it's bought in sacks. If it is, and you store some for later days. Now, it is different if I get married to someone or I'm in a relationship with someone who all they know is to buy on a daily. Such relationships suffer a lot. Why? Because there are days you don't have something coming in, and there are days something is coming in. So when it comes in and it's plenty, you save some. How? You save in terms of food. That way you create an environment where there's no shortage, where there's no scarcity. But if what we do is we buy on a daily, that somehow hits you hard and puts pressure on a relationship for the days that there's nothing coming in. Now that's me, and that's my background. Leave me on the side, yeah? I would say this. So if you're watching, tell me where you were raised, in a saving home or a spending home. Just drop in the comments and say I was raised in a spending home, and this is how we did it. Or I was raised in a saving home, and this is how we did it. Just type saver or spender. So I get to know that tallies of what is the biggest percentage of people. Is it the savers or is it the spenders? Most couples get it wrong. They think money fights are about bills, but they are really about beliefs. What you believe. Because if I believe in plenty around the house, or I believe in, like my example that I just gave, and you believe we should live for the day, one day at a time. Most fights are not about bills, but they are really about beliefs, what you believe and what I believe. There are 4 personalities that I'm going to talk about in a relationship. Now let's just first be practical on this one. There are those 4 types of personalities in a relationship, and I want us to gauge and see which one are you. Are you a spender? Are you one of these that I'm going to be talking about? Because we each fall in one of those 4. For starters, I'll start with the savers. This person finds peace in having money in the bank. A saver. If you get in a relationship with a person who is a saver, they find peace in knowing they have money in the bank. There's some money safe in the bank for them. They feel safe when their financial cushion is full, or there is something in their financial cushion. But if they are not careful, they can become too controlling or fearful, always saying no to spending, even on things that matter. So like you want to get yourself new saucepans because the ones you're having are leaking, or they are old, or they are not enough, or they are not big enough. They cannot spend. Such people, the savers, only know one language and one thing: to save. And so they are always saving. Every money they get, it's just one thing: saving. So those people are also there, and we just need to find a balance. Now the other spenders, oh my goodness, these live in the moment. I know people who are spenders. There is this couple that I got to meet, and the lady was a spender and the man was learning to be a planner. He was learning to become a planner, So the woman they would get millions of money at the end of the month. And she would be like, by the time that money comes, she's already laid out things she wants to do. She wants to buy her hair products, or skin products. She wants to buy, clothes for herself, eat out every single day. I mean, I had never seen someone who does that, eating out every single day. When you live such a lifestyle, you drain so quickly. So they are those spenders. They live for the moment. They believe money is for enjoyment and nothing else. Those are the spenders. They create memories, but if they are not disciplined, they can spiral into debt and irresponsibility. The spenders. Now there are also the ones we call the avoiders. Those ones, they don't want to talk about money at all. They just don't want. They love to spend. They are living, but they don't want to talk about money. Those are the avoiders. They don't want to talk about bills. They don't want to talk about budgets. They don't want to talk about their credit scores. Before a bank gives you money or any financial place gives you money, they have to score you credit wise and see, are you fit for that much money that you want to borrow? So they don't want to talk about that. They will say, let's not stress over those things. But ignoring money is the fastest way, if I may say, to lose peace in a relationship or marriage. So if you are the avoiding type, you know that as well. Now there is the planners. Those are my favorites. The budget masters. These ones love Excel sheets and saving goals. They like investments. They like to save, great for stability. Those ones, if you're looking to marry, they are great for stability, but can frustrate a spontaneous partner because they don't want to spend what they never planned for. So if you're a spontaneous partner, you want to, just surprise with earrings or surprise them with a watch, a wristwatch or shirt or shoe. you can find issues with planners because planners do not want to spend outside what they planned for. They want everything to be planned. Say like the month is starting and the money came in. They want to plan and be like, okay, this will go on food, this will go on fuel, this will go on rent, and this will go on, bills. So if you come up and say like, what about my shoe? We need to get some shoes. There are new Jordans that came out. They'll be like, so you would get conflict with them if you're a spontaneous spender. So those are the 4 people that I told you we are going to look at. Now, the key to this is not to find someone who is exactly like you. Don't get me wrong. You cannot find someone who is exactly like you. You're a spender, you need someone who spends. No. You are a planner and you get a planner. That kind of home will not have anything. It will plan so much and it will be frustrating, or it would cause resentment. You don't want to be a spender and you get a spender, then you have nothing. You always be in credit. And you don't want to get married to an avoider. Yeah? We just need to find someone who is willing to work with you. Someone who is willing to work with you. Even if it's a spender and you are a planner, and this person is willing, to work with you. They realize, okay, me, I just like spending, but he likes planning. So let us work together and be like, okay, we'll spend, but also plan to use some of this for the future. So you just need to find someone who you can work with, because peace doesn't come from matching habits. We need to know that. Just because you have matching habits doesn't mean you have a peaceful home. It comes from mutual respect and teamwork. When you're respecting each other and you're willing to work together on anything. Say you agree this month we are going to buy ourselves, to save for the car, and you're all working towards that. Trust me, it will be a peaceful home, because then you won't be surprised your partner went out with his buddies or her friends to the movies and that's the spa, yet the plan was we are saving towards getting maybe a car or finding ourselves a bigger space in terms of house. Now, red flags before marriage is what I'm going to talk about next. I want to talk to my single friends and those that are engaged couples. There are financial red flags you cannot ignore before saying I do. There are some that you cannot really ignore. I know when we are in a relationship, we've just met, or we've known each other for some time, we can't wait to put that ring on it, But life does not start and end when you put that ring on that finger. It's actually the beginning. That is why many relationships have failed after people have moved in or taken things to the next level. Why? Because we fail to see and look at those things that are really key in a relationship. Now, I'm not an expert at anything, but this is my observation. They are secret. Some of these things that I'm going to list are those things that you need to look at. The financial red flags. Remember, there are red flags that are not financial, but these are the financial red flags that you'd look at before saying I do. The secret spending or hidden debts. If your partner gets defensive every time you talk about money, that's a red flag. Transparency is trust. Because if you're talking about money and they are, they are offended, they are defensive, you need to look at it, because once all these, the butterflies have melted or all this excitement has gone away, reality hits. That's when you find out my partner has debt with this bank, debt with this one, and before you know it, it's choking your relationship up. There's no money hardly any time, because all the time you're either paying for debt or some of these people are coming to knock every time and repossessing some of your property. So if a person is secretly spending or has hidden debt, you need to check that out before you get married. If you're getting married or you're saying your I do's, ask, have you got any hidden debts? I know there are some people who marry and the age bracket is quite big and they cannot talk about certain things. And us ladies, we want already set things. That's our problem. You want to get married to a man who has already got a house, who is driving. That is what we want. But you don't know how he got to that house or the car that you want to sit at the front of. So because of that, you cannot even ask whether he's got financial debt, hidden debts. It's when you get in there and you see they are repossessing the house, repossessing the car. There's actually a couple that I got to know as well. They got married, and before they were married, the boy kept on, borrowing cars from his friends, and he was changing them like nothing. And he would come up with stories when he would come to pick up the girl and be like, yeah, this is my car as well, but sometimes I use this one. So when he comes in with another and he's like, yeah, now I changed the other and I got this one. And yet they were not his cars, they were cars from friends. And he never had his own place that is looking good. So he would borrow friends' houses to have her over. And she was really, really, really impressed. Normally, I don't know what happens to us ladies. When you see a man behind the wheel, you don't even want to know the rest. The fact that he's driving, you just imagine he's living in a good place and it's his. Yet most of the time, it's not the case. So once they got married, she got to find out that he's got nothing to his name and he's got no job. All that he was borrowing was was for friends, and they came and claimed. So once they got married, they were living with the friend because the boy was living with friends. And that was more than she could handle. And their relationship didn't even last a year. It didn't last a year and it was done. Why? Because there were secret spending habits and hidden debt habits that she never really got to know. So those are things that we need to handle when we are dating, just before we say I do. If someone is living beyond means just to impress, yeah, those are the kind of people, if they need to always look rich, but are always broke. Those people are also there. They always have to keep up appearances. I don't know whether you know that comedy of Miss Bouquet, Keeping Up Appearances. Those kind of people always want to look rich, but are always broke. That's a lifestyle problem, not just a money one. So you need to keep away from that kind of person. Get to know the real person. What is it that they have? What is it that we will have when we choose to make life together? It helps. I know we want to impress friends and tell them I got a man who has this, or I got a lady who comes from a rich family. Well, sometimes even the men have become schemers on this one, guys. Men have also mastered the art of looking rich, but yet they are very broke. And that is how they aim higher and aim for those rich girls, So if a person is living beyond means, just to impress, you need to look at that one as well if you're looking to say I do. Because a real person who reveals exactly what they have and you plan basing on what you have is better than one who promises you the world, the sky and the heavens, and and has nothing to deliver at the end of the day. Another person is the one who has no financial goals. If a person has no financial goals, guys, life is as real as you see it. It is so real, you will need to be real yourself. This is how much I earn. What are my goals this year? I know I don't have a lot. I realized one thing, that if you are a person who plans, who has goals, even when you save small money, you can get to that goal. Another example that I may give is I have my sister. She was working and she would sometimes give me 5,000 or sometimes 10,000 to save for her, depending on what she got. Every day she would give me either 5 or 10 or 20,000. And boy, did that money grow. Excuse me. The money grew. And before you know it, if she wanted to get to upgrade on her phone, she got an upgrade. She upgraded her phone. She would have money to do things for her children. Off that money that she gave me, as in 5,000, 10,000, 20,000. And then she was able to get herself, start of herself a business from that money. And yet, while she's giving it to me, it's small money. But it goes to show you that even the small that you have, if you have goals, it can really do much. And she even managed to get herself a motorcycle, something that is unbelievable based on her savings. But that was done on a daily. So if a person has no financial goals, guys, that person will keep you always on the painful end or the shortest end of the stick. Your relationship will be filled with struggles of money. If they cannot answer questions like what they are building financially in 5 years, they may not be ready for partnership. Those people are not ready. If they have no goals, they just want to get married to you and that's it. Because that's not real, guys. We get married just like you have clothes. When it's new, you're wearing it literally all the time. But once it gets old, you want to put it away and look at some other things. So same applies to relationships. Once we've started them and we've gotten to live and deal with these people that we are in a relationship with, they cease to be, the butterfly kickers. You just learn to live with these people now because they are now in your life. You learn to love them with genuine, pure love. The other one, if you want to know more about relationships or marriage or whatever, you look out my lives. Some of my lives have spoken on these things, and you find out some of these things. But now back to our topic that we're talking about. If a person their refusal to budgeting and planning together, that person is also another one that you should think really hard before saying, I will take this one on and we start a relationship. Why? If one partner says, don't worry about it, I will handle the money, that's not leadership. That's purely control. I know of a gentleman who clearly, bluntly told the girlfriend that concerning money, don't get involved. Your business is in the kitchen, so stick it and keep it right in the kitchen. And I found that degrading because we all bring different things to the table in a relationship. There are those who have the planning skills. There are those who have the saving skills in a relationship. That's why we don't marry our look-alike, but we marry those that balance us out. So if a person is like that, they refuse to get to budget or plan together, put a thing on it, guys. Even when you're so much in love, it doesn't seem like it's a big deal now, but it will become a big deal when these other things have faded away and you won't be able to stand this person. Now, example, a lady once told me she didn't know her husband had 6 different loans until after their wedding. That's a lady who told me, and I was like, what? She said, I didn't know he had 6 loans until our wedding. Now, it nearly broke them. Not because of the debt, but because of the secrecy. So secrets are not good, guys. They are not. We need to keep everything in the open. That way, there's another couple that I got to know. The man handled the finances and would give. Sometimes I know it is of God for you men to really worry and want to give us the world. But sometimes you may bite on more than you can chew. This man went on and had all these loans in the banks, started a school for the lady and bought a machine that mills maize as a business. And they were driving, they had about 3 cars at home. They were living in that big house, but he was burying himself deep in debt. Until one time, people who borrow from this bank to finance this loan, and then you borrow from this bank to finance this one, and you just circle yourself and tangle yourself in debt. So that's what that guy did. And time came, the bank came, repossessed the house, the school, and the milling machine. And all the cars were gone. The house was taken. And the woman found herself on the street. But all along, she was bragging on how her man was a provider, how her man had it all figured out. She married well, So if a person is secretive, and refuses to plan and budget together, it is also a thing to think of before you say I do. So let me ask you, would you still say I do if you discovered your fiance, had serious financial debts? Would you still say, or secrets? Type yes or type no. I will read it in the comments. I just need to know the statistics out there. How many people would get married to someone knowing they had serious financial secrets? They are not telling on how they get their money. They are not telling on how much they owe the bank, or who owes them, or who they owe. How many people? I just want to know if you would say I do to such a person. Because transparency before marriage saves trauma. That's the only reason why I'm asking this. Transparency before you get married saves you from the shocks of life and from trauma after marriage. How to build financial peace as a couple is what we are going to talk about next. So now let's talk about solutions. How can I have financial peace? How can we have financial peace as a couple? If you are in a relationship or marriage, here are 5 ways to build financial peace for your relationship or marriage. One of them would be talk about money often, not just in crisis. Talk about money often, not in just crisis. Set money dates. When I say set money dates, once a week or a month, sit down and review your spending, your saving and goals. Make it a safe space, not just a blame space where you're now having that debt. When I say set money debts, I mean instead of going out on debt, a dinner debt, and just treating yourselves out, you can have also money debts where this time we are going out to a place. Maybe we are going to by the lake, or by somewhere in a park, or somewhere maybe in the compound of a church, and we're just going to talk about our money, our spendings, our savings, our goals. And that is a safe space where you're not going to be creating a blame space where you're blaming him. You see, you bought this, you bought the other, you bought this, where you're in the house and he's saying, see, let me collect all the things you bought. And then he starts, or she starts, gathering all the things that you bought that month. No, we should create a safe space where we can talk about our money and spending habits. That will help us a lot. There is someone that I love dearly. He said, I just looked at myself. For some reason, I sat back and I was like reflecting. This year I earned over these many millions. But I was looking to see what did I do in that money. And there's hardly anything to prove. I don't even have cups in my house. I don't even have plates, but I earned millions this month. So it is good to have those financial talks. Not just when we are in crisis where there is no money, then we talk. No, we need to talk when it is there or when it's not there. We make time. Once a week or once a month, that would be healthy and good for our relationships. And then budgeting together. That's another thing. Even if one person handles bills, both should understand where money goes. Period. Even if it's one person and you're like, okay, in our relationship, you handle bills, I handle the running of the house. Even if it's that, and for you handle the bills, we need to be united. You all need to know where that money that comes in the house goes. Unity begins with visibility. What do I mean by that? We can only be united when we all see what we are doing together. I need to, okay, fine, you're handling the bills, but what bills have you sorted? How much money came in? Fine, you're handling the bills, and I'm handling the children or the house. How much came in? How did we spend it? Simple, guys. Now, another thing is set shared goals. Say we are saving for a home and we are paying a debt off, or we are sorry, say we are saving for a home or we are paying for or off a debt. We have a debt. It concerns both of us, because in case there is failure to pay, guess what will happen? We will all lose out. The bank will repossess, or you end up in jail for not paying, So we need to set goals. If we are going to save for a home, we all focus on that one. It is absurd if you're in a relationship with someone and you assume they do understand and they are with you on something, and all they are doing, you say we are saving for a car, or we are saving for a house, or we are paying off a debt, and they are busy treating their colleagues at work out. We need to have same goals or shared goals. Having shared goals turns money from a source of tension to a team project. I will say it again. Having shared goals as a couple can turn our money from a source of tension, whereby when the money comes, we are always worried about what we are going to do. Will it be enough? It can turn it from a source of tension into a team project. So I hope that one is also considered. And also the other one is respecting each other's strength in a relationship. Before we say these I do's, we need to respect each other's strength, because if one is better at numbers, great, that is very great. If the other is better at finding deals, that is also great. So we need to respect each other's strength. And marriage works off when both contribute differently. What do I mean by that? If you are good at numbers and I'm good at deals, I deal. So, like, I would give an example. I go out, when we go shopping, I bargain. I can bargain, or I can look out for deals. If there's a discount somewhere, I'll go for it. Well, my husband is good at probably getting that money. I am good at spending it, and spending it at a deal, or discount, not just buying because I went out buying. So we need to respect each other's strength, because marriage is, like I said, marriage works better when both contribute differently. We all contribute the same, that we are all spenders, that we are all, dealers, we are all good with numbers. It doesn't really work so well that way. It works when we all come different and put our differences together. Then the other bit that I need to talk about is you need to be able to stay accountable to each other. Don't make big financial decisions secretly. Don't. Like, you plan to go and buy a piece of land, and so you go to the bank and secretly take out a loan. It does not work out well, guys. It does not. I know of a guy who hanged himself who took his life simply because he couldn't pay off the loan. He had gotten a loan, bought the house, was putting kids in expensive schools, and then he lost his job. And he could not even go to the wife and say, you know what, I cannot keep up with this. I took money from the bank. This is how we have been spending. I mean, if the woman wanted to go shopping on the weekends, the man would always give her the money. And yet this is borrowed money. He had no job. And each morning he would get out of the house as though he's going somewhere, like he's going to work, and yet he had no work. And until one day it was more than he could take, when the bank said, we are coming and we are taking everything that you've got to repossess to get back our money. He couldn't look at the face of his wife and children. So he had a video game with them that night, and the man had a tendency of staying late in the sitting room. The woman always thought maybe he's praying or he's doing his thing. So she wasn't so much nosy about it. So this time round, after they had had dinner, they played a video game with the son, and the father told them to go to bed. He stayed in the sitting room. Later, when it was about 3 o'clock, the man opened the door, went out by the tank of the house, and did his thing. Now, when these guys woke up in the morning, they were only to be surprised about what had happened to the dad. They found the door open and they wondered, did we sleep without closing? Only to find someone hanging, and that was him. And he had left a note that I could not look at your face, knowing the bank is going to throw us out. And the look of my kids when I had to break it to them that they can't go back to school anymore because we can't afford it. You know, that is living beyond our means. And also that is not being accountable to each other. We need to be accountable to each other. You buy the car, we are thinking of buying the car. You know what? We talk about it. Even if you may find this weird, but even if my husband bought me a phone, I'd be like, why did you get it? How much was it? Because I need to know so that we are not in debt and we have to pay it off together, or someone has got to pay at some point and the price may be great. So we need to be accountable to each other. Don't make big financial decisions secretly. Check in, communicate with each other and agree on things to do and things not to. Like if you're in a relationship, before you go out and do your hair, do your nails, take the kids out, talk about it with your man and see how much do we have today. You don't live on assumption that because he gave you yesterday, he still has and he'll give you today and the next week and the week after. I use an example of a container. This is a bowl and this is a cup. And if I pour out all the time, eventually it will run dry. Even when it was filled to the top, it will run dry. Why? Because I've drained it until there's nothing. There's got to be that balance. Yeah? If I'm the man and I give you money today, don't assume because I gave you today 100,000, tomorrow I'll give you 100,000 and the next day 100,000. Ask yourself, about some of these things and let us stay accountable, communicate and agree on your spendings. Just because you did hair last time when he had a lot of 200,000 or 600,000 doesn't mean you're going to keep doing hair of 600,000. He will give you that money and you do your hair at 600,000, but you'll not know what he sold or what he's into to have maintained you that way. So we need to find that balance. Here's something I always say in marriage. Financial peace isn't about how much you earn. It is not. I mean, you can see a couple that is so much at risk, not that they are earning millions. That is where I get it from. That financial peace isn't about how much you earn. It's about how much you understand each other. It is about how much you understand each other. I will, if I know my husband earns 300,000 a month, it will be absurd of me to come asking that I want to do hair of 150,000, literally spend half the income that would come to our family on myself that is doing hair. Yeah? So I'll say it again. Financial peace isn't about how much you earn. It's about how much you understand each other. If you understand what you each have on the table, you don't have to even keep up appearances with people. Who cares what they think? That you're repeating the dress that you wore last time at church. Who cares? As long as you understand each other, that we don't have now, but if we save this much, we'll get to this. We'll get to live large. We'll get to drive that car, live in that area. Who cares what they think at the moment? It's all about you two understanding each other. Now, if you had to describe your relationship with money in one word, what would it be? I wanted to know that one as well. So in the comment section, let me know if you had to describe your relationship with money in one word, what you would say. You could say, I love it. I love my relationship with money, or I'm learning, or I'm improving, or it's peaceful, or it's growing. You could say any of those. Or that's the journey. Not perfection, but progress. Those are some of the comments I would want to hear, because it also helps us make and create better relationships. As we close, I want to leave you with this truth that I found. Money is not the enemy of love. Get it and get it right. Money has never been an enemy of love. It's the test of maturity, responsibility, and honesty. I will say it again. Money has never been an enemy of love, but it's the test of maturity. How someone treats money when they have it. There are some men, oh my goodness, when they get money, they change. If you're living somewhere, they come at the gate, and by the time they get home, they are all swollen up or blown up because they are carrying a bag here and a plastic bag here with probably milk or bread. So I would say again, money is not the enemy of love. It's the test of maturity, responsibility, and honesty. If there are some men who get money and they are like, from here on, I can afford any woman. And so when they get money, they just want to sleep around or be able to access these other ladies that they could not access before. And there are also ladies who have injected enough money in themselves. And so when they have done that, they are looking at bigger fish, rich, way rich men who don't even value them at the end of the day, because you came when he had set this all up. And all you brought is the way you are looking right now. So it is our test for maturity. Money is our test for our maturity, responsibility, and honesty. So don't let money divide what love builds. Love can really build many things, but let us not allow money to divide it. Because peace in marriage isn't just about how you love each other. It's not. It's not only just about how you love each other, but it's also about how you manage life together. How you manage life together, I mean, it includes our money. How do we manage life? I mean, because if we're going to go hungry because we spent all our money last week, we will go through it together. So how do we manage life together will determine the peace we have in our relationship or our marriage. I'll say it again, because peace in marriage isn't just about how you love each other. I mean, I could love you, but it's also about how you manage life together. I love you today, but how can we keep up? Can we stay together? How we manage life together, excuse me, is also one of the peaceful things in marriage. So because you say I do, before you say I do, ask hard questions, guys. Let us not be people who are always smiling. Anytime we're in each other's company, excuse me, we are always saying, he makes me laugh. Oh my goodness, he makes me smile. Oh my God, I'm always happy around him. Well, it's good to be happy around someone that we love. But also, we need to deal at the core issues. So before you say I do, ask the hard question. And if you already are married, start by the healing conversations. Because there is no situation that is closed off and it's too late. Because financial peace is possible, but it takes teamwork, transparency, and truth. We just have to be truthful about our money. We just have to be transparent about our money, and we just have to work as a team. There's a saying, you want to go far, go alone. But you want to go further, go with numbers. Because even when you're working out, and that's why people go to the gym. I mean, you can try working out at home alone to get those muscles, and you try. You can get there, but it's hard. But go to the gym where there's music and everyone is doing the same thing. You feel really energized about doing it. So it goes to show you teamwork is one of those things that can help us build better relationships. So if this message blessed you tonight, go ahead and hit that subscription button if you have not ever subscribed, and that like button. Share this video with someone preparing to get married, or someone who is just gotten married, or even someone who has been married for some time and things are not working out. So go ahead and share. Subscribe for honest heart-to-heart conversations about love, about money, and real life, because that's what goes down on this channel. I'm Winfred, and this was Money Talks today. How financial habits predict marital peace or chaos. See you in next time, and remember, it's not about how much you have. It's about how much you build together. It's not about how much you have, but how much how much you build together, because that is how it is. It's not about how much you have. I mean, you could have a lot and then get the wrong person and all of it is gone. Or you could have not so much, but get this right person and you build it and multiply it, and it's unbelievable what you create together. Otherwise, until next time, bye guys, and I hope that you have been blessed.